and handover of the endorsement certificate to Brookside Dairy. Kwa hivyo very soon utaona kwa products zetu tumeandika hapo we are endorsed by KNDI. Gava wenyewe. Na unaona hapa hata Gertrude Gardens Children's Hospital are here. Yeah, so this is very, very nice for all of us. Boniface Okendo has just arrived from Standard Group. Boniface, karibu sana. And all the other colleagues from media. I saw Susan here. Where is she? Susan Gadogo. Ako mahali hapa nyuma. Hapo nyuma na timu yake. Pia we have several agencies here we are working with at Brookside. There's also a team here from KNDI, we know. So we look forward. The event will be very unique in the sense that this is the first time that this particular government agency is endorsing products of a dairy processor. So Brookside Dairy therefore becomes the first dairy processor in Kenya whose products are endorsed by the Ministry of Health's Kenya Nutritionists and Dietitians Institute. Hakuna ingine, ni sisi peke yetu. Agenge, kampuni agenge hivi tu. And then another first is that they are endorsing multiple products, not just one product, multiple products as a Brookside Dairy. You'll see when someone explains to us that range, the Brookside Plus range, because each of those products addresses a unique dietary requirement, as you'll see, or dietary need in the population. Yeah, there are those who can take lactose. There is a particular product that we produce here, we manufacture here, that addresses that. Wale wataki fat sana kwa maziwa, there is a particular product that does that. If you want something for your gut, there's a particular yogurt that addresses that need. Vitamin deficiencies like A and D, there's a product. If you need fiber, or it's recommended by Gertrude's here, there's a particular product that is relevant. So that the entire range is called the Brookside Plus range. So nakaribisha kila mtu. Nimesema we are full house when it comes to media because that's how Brookside Dairy operates. And plus all the other stakeholders whom we shall introduce in the fullness of time. Yeah, so so far for bridging the gap. Yeah, I'll get you. I'll say it at the right time. Iko wale watu wakubwa tusemi sahi. So yes, so we also have a very powerful team of crew, sound crew, a very powerful team there. They have tested if the audios are fine. I know they're making sure that the microphones will be readily available. Hata kama tunafanya signing of the MOU there will be a microphone or microphones ready for the officers who will undertake that process. Yes. There is a statement here. The media know that Brookside Dairy normally does not do a press release. We do a page-ready statement. A script ready to air. A script ready to air. Sio press statement, sio hizo vitu mingi watu wanaandikanga even wasting ink for immediate release. I don't know which statements are not supposed to be for immediate release. So karibuni nyinyi wote, Kioko, kila mtu, our very own Karanja there. Team yetu ya the entire Mediamax spectrum. Susan, Brookside's personal provider of the media material, is also here with us. That is Brookside Dairy's, would I say, media unit. She's the one who's going to provide us. So Dr. Okeyo, the CEO, and myself shall be overseeing the running of the program. So, ladies and gentlemen, now that the leadership is here, ambao watachukua viti vya mbele, we are just about to get started. Our director of manufacturing is here, our general manager for audit is here, general manager marketing is also here, general manager innovations, product development is also here, and I can see our group chief operating officer and the CEO, KNDI, plus the entire council are also here with us. So in a moment, we shall be good to go with the endorsement process. Now, once they arrive here, we are going to have a word of prayer from Banis. Banis, where are you? Where is she? Ako hapo, eh? Sawa, 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 sawa. So get set. And then after she's done with that, Madam Brenda of Brookside Dairy shall undertake introductions together with Dr. Okeyo. And then we continue with the rest of the program. Yes. Yes. Asante sana daktari. Wacha muwe karibu so that you can tete-a-tete. So that you can tete-a-tete. Then the director marketing, Brenda. Director marketing here. Madam Brenda, part of the leadership, wasonge karibu, I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So they're just signing in and then we get started. Now that the CEO, who is our principal guest here, is together here with our group chief operating officer. And then Banis, just get ready, give us a word of prayer. And then we can now get started properly. Council members are here. Council members next to Director Marketing. Very good. So the rest of the team just walking in. Banis, kuwa karibu. Caroline, kuwa karibu. So Dr. David Okeyo, our principal guest, the CEO of the Kenya Nutritionists and Dietitians Institute. With us also is Mr. Faiz Taib, our group chief operating officer. We have our directors here, Brookside Dairy directors, director of marketing, Mr. Reza Chabokro, director of manufacturing, Mr. John Gethy, director of finance there, Mr. Kennedy Gaderu, our general managers. We are just still bridging the gap as we prepare to the rest to have a seat, then we get started properly. Very good, very good. Wangoi, I hope the signal is not live yet. We are holding the signal a bit as we get started. Caroline, move closer. Linda. So, Madam Brenda, is it good to go? No, the rest of the council members are coming still. All right, yeah, I can see. All right, I can see his big team just coming. So once we get started properly, we shall undertake introductions just right after the word of prayer. And on Brookside Dairy side, Brenda, General Manager Innovations and New Product Development, shall chaperone the introductions, assisted by Linda Obado, General Manager Marketing. And then we shall give it to Dr. Okeyo to introduce his team, the council, and everybody else accompanying him. After that, we shall get to the process value, the technical report, from the Institute. And then the process value chain report by Professor Nguka. Is that so? Yes, yes. Then we shall be given the product processing and analysis report by Professor Bong. And then the CEO will give us a nutritional relevance report of the products that are going to be given a thumbs up today. And then what the media here are waiting for eagerly, the Institute's endorsement statement. And then after the endorsement statement, Brookside Dairy's Director of Marketing, who is right here with us, shall give a corporate statement from Brookside Dairy on this event. Then we shall move to sign the MOU to my left. We put that particular backdrop because this is an LED, and we thought that it might not give us the right pixels for print. So we shall do the endorsement there, the signing of the MOU there, where we have a backdrop. And then, Daktari, are we giving a certificate? Okay, then we shall also give the certificate there. And ladies and gentlemen, those who are behind, can we just move closer? Karanja, let's move closer. Dina, that team which is there, can we just move? Emily, Dina, Carol, let us move closer first of all. We get started. Julia, let's move closer. Then once we get started, we can fall back to our various roles. Susan, let's move closer, and your team. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are good to go. And we can now go live on YouTube. I want to invite Bernice to come over and give us a word of prayer.
Good morning, everyone. Have you taken a cup of yogurt? You don't look energetic. Good morning. Good morning. Let us stand and pray. Father, we come before your presence this moment. We want to thank you, Lord, for taking care of us. Thank you for this day, O Lord. We want to ask you that you may guide us as we start. Let us start with you, Jehovah, Lord. Whatever we are doing, O God Almighty, let it be acceptable, O God Almighty. May you create a way for all of us, Jehovah, even as we lead, O God, and as we ensure that everything is done according to your will. We worship you and we honor you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you.
You know what I was going to say? Can we give a clap of hands so that, because, yes. Our technical team, can we switch off these lights? Because it's giving one of the cameras a glare. Just, thank you. Next, I would like to invite Brenda, and I want her here to be flanked by Linda. Linda, also come forward. The two of you are going to undertake introduction of our directors.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for making the time on a Monday morning to be with us to celebrate today. I'll introduce myself first. My name is Brenda Denus. I'm the General Manager, New Product Development and Innovation. And I'll let Linda introduce herself.
Morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We are really happy to be hosting you here today. My name is Linda Obado. I am the General Manager for Marketing.
I'll take this opportunity to introduce the leadership of Brookside. So I will begin with our Group Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Taib. That's Mr. Taib, Faiz Taib. He's the one who runs Brookside. He's our boss. followed by my immediate director, Mr. Reza Chobokro, followed by Mr. John Gethy, manufacturing director. And right next to him is our finance director, the one who made sure the payment happened. That's Kennedy Gatheru. And I'll take a small opportunity as well to just, for the GMs and assistant general managers who are here, raise your hand so that we know that you're represented. So we have quality assurance, that's Sabina. We have Juguna Finance, we have Pithan, he's in audit, general manager, technical general manager, Simon Manufacturing, and Kasiema. So thank you very much for being here with us. And we are represented by a couple of organizations. I'll just mention the organizations. That's Tetra Pak. We're represented by the leadership of Tetra Pak. That's Jonathan Kinisu. Thank you for coming. Jackie and Judy from Tetra Pak, thank you very much for representing us and coming to be part of the celebration today. There's KDB. We have Mr. Mutua from KDB. And the rest will be introduced by Dr. Okeo. The rest of the KNDI team will be introduced by Dr. Okeo. Thank you very much for coming, and we really appreciate your presence.
Thank you, Brenda. Let's give her a round of applause, a proper one. Eh? Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, this essentially is not a Brookside Dairy event. This is an event, this is a government event, because the Kenya Nutritionists and Dietitians Institute is a government body. So I would like to humbly invite the Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Okeo, to take us through the rest of the program. Daktari, tumpigie makofi jamani.
Wilson, you took over, and then you now say that this is not a Brookside event. You know, that is expected. A good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, of course, the members of the council. Of course, our chair is just about to arrive. She's on the way. We have already council members in the house and part of the secretariat. So I would want to introduce the KNDI team, that is Kenya Nutritionists and Dietitians Institute. In fact, our chair has just arrived, and she's, let's give her time to sit. So my duty is to introduce them, and I will start with the chairperson, that is Dr. Evelyn Mudhoni Ngrikacha Muriti. Dr. You can wait for them. We also have our chairman accreditation committee, that is Professor Gordon Nguka. Professor is there. We have with us Madam Purity Chege, who is also from the accreditation committee. Then we have Madam Judith Kobe, who is also in the consumer, a clinical nutritionist, and is in the committee. Then we have Madam Bernice Kendi, who is a nutritionist, is also present here. Then we also have some of our council members who are going to be online, Dr. David Soti and Mr. Peter Nda. Both of them are online. We also have Madam Veronica Kirogo, who is also the Director, Nutrition Services. She sent apology, but she's well represented by Madam Caro. Caro is from the ministry, representing those two arms now. Ministry of Health, and also Madam Veronica. She has already indicated to us. Thank you very much, and myself, Dr. David Okeo, the CEO and ex-official member. Now, I would want to introduce a special person in our midst, that is the expertise in science, that is food scientist, Professor Abong. George Abong from University of Nairobi is an expert with us in the value chain. Then I have my secretariat team, starting with the accreditation secretary from Nguka's side, Mr. Martin Kiome. You can greet them. Then we have our registrar, Elizabeth Ngombe. And then we have our senior administrator, that is Sheila. Thank you very much. We have others who are present, very much technical. Our head of ICT is on duty, but he's seated somewhere, Mr. Kevin Musando. He's the one behind all the online matters and the gimmicks in computer. So he is the one taking us live today. And mine now is to take over from Wilson, and Wilson will bear with us until we finish. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a good occasion for us today as Kenyans, and I would want to say that when you see people gathered like this in an open space, and you see them serious like the way we are, it means that an important exercise is just about to happen. Very, very important, and you will discover the importance when you see the science behind what we are doing today. And before I get to the science, I want to just give a background. Kenya Nutritionist and Dietitians Institute is a professional body by statute. And just like the Institute of Accountants, that is ISPAC, and also the Law Society of Kenya. And it's also a regulatory authority. If you look at the structure, it is a membership statute, which means that it draws its powers from Parliament and execute its powers by what we call self-regulation. So the intention of Parliament was to bring professionals who would assure Kenyans that what they eat is of quality and is of standard, and also give guidance when it comes to matters of educating the public on nutrition-specific and nutrition-sensitive areas. And one of such areas is the food as a background of nutrition. That is food science. And so with that, the council is appointed under by Gazette notice by the Ministry Cabinet Secretary for Health, and members of the council, some are elected, others are appointed by officers. So all of them are here for this exercise today, and we are glad to have our chair. I would request you to welcome. She has come all the way from Kilifi now, and to come for this exercise. She's not online. So our chair is with us, and she will take charge of the endorsement statement. So without wasting time, I want you to join me to invite Professor Gordon Nguka. Professor, you hold on a bit. And he's going to take us through the value chain process analysis. And Professor is a professor in clinical nutrition and pediatrics physiology. So he is a dietitian, also a clinician at the same time. And he's the chair of accreditation committee, which is one of the statutory committees in KNDI, and is also part of the expertise when it comes to the value chain process. He understands the value chain process analysis for food products. And so he's taking us through that report. It is a comprehensive report of what had happened prior. And after that, I'll come back to invite another professor. So Professor, you can join me to welcome in. Professor, you can now come with the report to give us your details. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bwana CEO. All protocols observed. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. When I was talking to my friend here, I said today is a very good day because it is a day like a wedding day. You know, wedding day, before it actually happens, you don't know what is likely to happen in between. Somebody may just wake up and just say, you know, There is a court order here. You can't be able to move on. So I know all of us are expectant, and we are hoping for the best, that this function is going to end peacefully with no court orders. But that is normal. I will take you through the process that we went through here. To our chair, Dr. Evelyn Grekacha, welcome. And she has been part of this, so we are happy that we are fully constituted together with the council members. This process is guided by standards, 14 standards that we initially came here to be able to ensure that Brookside meets all those standards. And if you allow me, I quickly just drive you through those standards, the 14 standards as they are. Standard related to facilities and equipment. We'll also drive you through the standard related to availability of reference and resources, standards related to utilities, standards related to raw materials, ingredients, finished products, and finished product storage, standards relating to production of food, standards relating to packaging, labeling, delivery of food products. Tetra Pak is here. We're very keen on that. Standards relating to quality assurance activities, standards relating to quality control activities, standards relating to quality-related events, and standard relating to quality improvement activities, standard relating to personnel on-site, standard relating to standard operating procedures, documents, standard related to the implementation of standard operating procedures, and finally, standards related to marketing, labeling, and nutritional claims. So those are the standards that I will take us through. It is important for me to go through this now that I can see so many cameras here, that Kenya Nutritionists and Dietitians Institute was established by an Act of Parliament, Act number 18 of 2007, or Cap 253B of the laws of Kenya. The Act provides for training, registration, and licensing of nutritionists and dietitians. It also provides for the regulation of standards and practice of the profession to ensure effective participation in matters relating to nutrition and dietetics and related purposes. The KNDI, or Kenya Nutrition and Dietitians Institute, has a governance structure which consists of the council, led by a council chair, and management led by the CEO. The work of the council is to develop policies, and those are implemented by the CEO under the management. There are a total of about 11 functions, and I will not take you through all of them. You just need to know that the last function there, which was under the amendment of 2019, says working jointly with other bodies, participate actively in the review of foods, food supplement, and nutrition supplement with the nutrition claims. That's part of the function that brought us here. And it is read together by Section 34, I think, which I'm not going to go through, but we'll be able to check. When we came here, we were under the delegation of powers under Section 7 of the Act that allows the Council to delegate its powers to the following: the CEO under Section 9 of the Act, the Accreditation Committee was established under Section 12 and 13, and the Disciplinary Committee, of course we were not coming here for discipline. We were coming here for the first two. But the Disciplinary Committee is also a delegated power, because that can come later if, in any case, anything is not under control. Section 25 and Section 26 provides for that. Section 6J, as I read before, gives the council the mandate to work jointly with other bodies to participate actively in the review of food supplement, and nutrition supplement with the nutrition claims. This function is reaffirmed under the function of accreditation committee as per Section 13J of the same Act. Under the miscellaneous provisions of the Act are, and I quote, if you allow me, on the offenses: any person who markets food and nutrition supplements without analysis, certification, and registration by certification by the council commits an offense and is liable on conviction to a fine not exceeding 200,000 shillings or to imprisonment or to both. Now, that's one key aspect that, of course, that is not the reason why we came here. We just came to assure quality and to ensure that what we eat is actually informed by science. So the purpose of this inspection that brought us here was to carry out an inspection of the food company, in this case Brookside, for purposes of possible endorsement in accordance to Section 6I, 13J, and 36 of the Nutrition and Dietitians Act. And the findings were in those standards, and we are going to give them as per the standard, and you allow me to give the score comprehensively. In standard number 1, that is standard relating to site compliance for accreditation. The equipment used in the production are adequate to deliver products safely and are accurately in line with the current good manufacturing practices. The facilities has standard operating procedures for all the equipment that are used in the production and which are closely adhered to. The design of the facility and equipment are adequate, with all the equipment sourced from world-best industry, and we mentioned specifically Tetra Pak. The cleaning and maintenance schedules are followed as specified with the CIP, schedules in place in both short and full cycle, ensuring no cross-contamination. And the factory entrance instructions are clearly labeled and enforced, and therefore that standard, we had no recommendation. We say maintain, and if there is anything that you can increase, please improve, but you scored 5. Still 5, you can still manage. It's 5 out of 5. Standard number 2 is standard related to availability of references and resources. The business facility, Brookside, has access to current and relevant resources for nutrition, which are available and accessible to some of the relevant personnel. Some of the personnel are also not trained on the access and use of reference resources materials. So because of that aspect, that some are not yet, and we were able to capture that, that standard scored 4.75. There's a 0.25, which means you have to train everybody. So the company should ensure that all relevant staff should be trained as a recommendation. Standard number 3 is standard related to utilities. The nature and type of utilities on site are approved by good manufacturing practices, e.g. the changing rooms, hand washing facilities, sanitizing area, etc., with clear instructions for the shop floor workers, and all meant to minimize the cross-contamination. And therefore that section, with that standard number 3, scored 5 out of 5. But that doesn't mean that you cannot create more opportunity to improve ahead. Standard number 4 is standard related to raw ingredient materials and finished products. The company demonstrated good warehousing, like FIFO, LIFO, etc., and demonstrated by recording and use of batch numbers, which we're able to follow. The FIFO is in place as products are racked, stored as per the batch, and dispatched in guarded batches and expiry dates. And therefore that, again, we had no problem with that standard. It scored 5 out of 5. Standard number 5 is standard related to production of food. And the in charge of manufacturers are here. I think this will be good for your ears. Production equipment are available, most of which are supplied by globally respected vendors, Tetra Pak among the others. We also have the exist system like hazard analysis, critical control point, among others, to ensure product quality. The production ingredients are sourced from sources that are approved by the relevant authorities. That section were meeting all the standards, and therefore it scored 5. Standard number 6 is standard related to packaging, labeling, and delivery of products. The production complies with the standards regarding packaging, labeling, and delivery of food products. The products are labeled meeting the legal aspect as well as communicating to the consumers. However, there was lack of clarity in using general terms, e.g. reduced fat, which we thought would be misleading. So we have recommended something there in as much as you scored everything. The labeling should scientifically be sound to avoid conflicting with the tested and known science of food, i.e. statements such as reduced fat should be avoided and recommended classification based on fats-based KEBS be maintained at all times. That is high, low, so the use of such terminologies, fat-free with specific percentages detailed if it is fat-free. So those are the language that we expect. That section still scores 5, but that is an improvement which is required. Standard number 7 is standard related to quality assurance activities. There are existing quality assurance. Of course, you had somebody, the head of quality assurance is here, and we were able to really talk with her deeply during the interviews. The existing quality assurance plans has relevant details of quality improvement activities and is implemented by the factory to the letter. I think that's one of the key areas that was performed perfectly well. We even had we could not be able to make any recommendation. So you scored 5. Standard relating to quality control, that's standard number 8. There exist standard operating procedures related to quality control activities. There exist personnel responsible for quality control activities. The business facility demonstrated that its quality control plans reference met the current practices standards, mainly hosted by Research and Development Office. The company has internal laboratory that samples and conducts testing in every stage of quality control, and there was evidence of sample analyzed by external laboratories to compare with what is within. And there were calibration schedules in all machines and signaling mechanisms in case of faulty functional equipment. And in this case, again, we say the company should continue implementing these quality control activities and let it be implemented by every department. So you scored 5 on that section as well, out of 5. Standard number 9, standard related to quality-related events, QREs. The company has a standard operating procedures for investigation, documentation, and resolution of quality-related events and steps to avoid quality-related events up and including corrective and preventive activities. There was clear evidence and demonstration of strict follow-up of standard operating procedures in the company. It seems there has been no quality-related event reports, because we were not able, they have not dealt with it before, in real service, other than they have done mock recalls. The company has done mock recalls, which to us is good. It means you are prepared for any eventuality. So the company should demonstrate that public recalls will be reported to appropriate agencies anytime you do those public recalls, and those agencies are KNDI and KEBS and Food and Drugs Authority, if it will be formed, or once it is formed. Competition Authority and any relevant consumer organization when it can be required. So that needs to be incorporated. It is not within your standards yet. So that standard scored 4.5. When that happens, it will be good. Standard number 10 is standard related to quality improvements. The business facility maintained trends related to quality improvement activities, mainly hosted by Research and Development Section Company, And there was provision of examples of communicating quality improvement activities to customers, especially through market surveys and digital marketing platforms. We say continue engaging in this customer information and stakeholder quality improvement activities. That section is called 5. Then standard related to personnel on site. The personnel in business facility are adequate and are qualified for food processing. There was demonstrated personnel hygiene and use of appropriate personal protective equipment, the PPEs. At the human resource section, there was standard operating procedure to address the process of verifying credentials of new independent contractors and or employees. The standard operating procedures are adequate to protect personnel in terms of occupational health and safety. However, we have recommended that the company should put in place mechanism to ensure protection and occupational safety, especially on audio hazards. And we had the opportunity to get into your company when it was working, so we know exactly what is going on. Now that section's code 4.5. So you'll have to work and tell them to continuously wear that, because that sounds sweet. It can destroy somebody's eardrum, but maybe they're using it. Number 12 is standard relating to standard operating procedures. All your standard operating procedures were under camera, and there exist copies of all standard operating procedures which were accessible by personnel, and there were standard operating procedures for policies which are in safe custody and are domiciled under quality assurance. However, the company should digitize these standard operating procedures for centralized management for access by all staff, because what was coming into our say is that not all staff are able to access these standard operating procedures. So again, that section scored 4.5. So we expect improvement to all staff. Standard number 13 is standard related to the implementation of standard operating procedures. There is in existence description of responsibilities and functions of all nutrition and dietetics personnel, mainly hosted by the human resource and given to employees as job description of job specifications, especially during various advertisements. There are standard operating procedures for orienting and training new personnel up to and including educating, training, and accessing the competencies of personnel. However, there was no evidence of continuing staff assessment, and there is need that is also institutionalized. So the company needs to institutionalize staff appraisal, and all nutritionists to update their continuing professional development, accounts, and license with immediate effect to avoid penalties associated with the section 36, 1 of CAP 253B. So that section still scored 4.5 with that improvement. Then last standard is standard number 14. One thing I have to mention is that this company has the registered, all nutritionists here are registered nutritionists, and they're part of the staff. However, they need to update those CPD points we have talked about. Standard number 14 is standard related to marketing, labeling, and nutrition claims. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road. This standard, there were clear processes on controls, controls of critical steps, packaging, flowchart diagram, and a copy of complete batch manufacturing evidenced by internal sampling, laboratory testing, analysis, and report documented and kept as records of each batch for all evaluated products that we are having here today. There were summarized specification of the final products, including acceptable limits of physical, chemical, biological, and microbiological parameters. So that we're able to see. The packaging materials satisfies compliance and suitable for the products. There was data on chemical, physical, microbial analysis throughout the product processing, and shelf life determination presented as stability data. However, there was no complete analysis of nutrient content at post-injection modifiers, inoculation, enzymes, and fortification. So immediately after that, we were not able to get that component. So we have recommended the following. One, that the company should institute post-modification nutrient analysis and surveillance stability data on already distributed products after the final product. The labeling, we have also said, should be scientifically sound to avoid conflicting with the tested and non-scientific food statements, such as reduced fat, we have said, need to be avoided. And we have provided recommendations as per KEBS to be either low, fat-free, or if it is specific percentages provided as detail. So that constitutes the overall process and what we found. Now, what the next thing is that let me invite Daktari. There is a section of this report which will now delve onto the science, which Daktari is going to invite Prof to present. Thank you very much, Dr. Keyo, and we hope for the best.
Can we clap for Prof? Well, he's very tall. So that is the value chain. What we do is to ensure that the process integrity is assured before we get into the product. So you only get to product level analysis after you have passed above 80% of the value chain. And I want to assume, Prof, that was done. So let me invite quickly Professor Ebong. Before that, I just want to say that we are going to change the program a bit. So after Professor Bong, our chair will have to give us the statement because she's the only one who can read that statement. And yeah, it's okay. Let me just give you, not now. So Professor Bong will finish, and then the chair will come, and then I can come later after the chair has left. So Professor Karibu. Professor is a professor of food science and technology from the University of Nairobi, and is an expert in food science. So the integrity of analysis when it comes to verdict depends on professor. We are not saying that we are not scientists, but that is his area. So Professor Karibu.
Good morning, everybody. It gives me much pleasure to stand here to see all of you, and of course to make my short presentation. I'll be as short as possible. Dr. Keyo, there is always division of labor and specialization. So that's why you have to look for me. As he says, I am an associate professor at the Department of Food Science, Nutrition and Technology, the University of Nairobi. I'm a food scientist by training. And so mine was to wait and see that the value chain actually met the threshold, as they say. And then I asked for the records of analysis, and these analyses were both internal, but also, of course, the most ones that I relied on were external analysis from 3 accredited laboratories. And so I used that analysis results to compare and, of course, see if the claims as indicated and the parameters were actually meeting or were the products were compliant. I'm not able to mention which labs, but they were accredited as per my knowledge. I think I want to, before I forget, what Professor Nguka has indicated, the recommendation on post-product analysis. I also need to indicate that in food analysis, I want to talk a very simple way. We look at the quality of the product, but we also look at the safety of the product. So whereas we talk about physical-chemical properties, we can divide them in the following sense. We have the nutritional component, we have the physical components, as simple as the viscosity of the product can be a physical component. But we also have safety in two ways. One, issues related to hygiene. So then we look at, was the product produced hygienically, in which case, if it is not, there is likelihood that you have pathogens or disease-causing microorganisms transmitted, including chemical issues. That's one component. The other component of safety is chemical, which was out of the scope at the moment. And what I mean by chemical, there are two key issues that at the moment when I look at the data from different parts of Kenya, and this may be picked by Brookside going forward, is that we see quite some level of aflatoxin M1. That is the normal aflatoxin. If the animal eats it, it converts from B1 to M1, for those who understand. And then the other one is pesticide residues and antimicrobial residues that normally will find themselves in milk. So those ones were not part of the current evaluation. And because the value chain gave us some level of confidence. But going forward, it is something that the company would think about doing occasional. I believe that there should be something already going on. I'm just giving a caveat so that before anybody asks, we are very clear on what we are doing. So when you look at a food product, then you look at those components. Having gone through the process, then we expect that the product is wholesome and can be trusted by the consumer and has the required nutrients that are claimed to be or it should supply. So having said that, we evaluated Brookside Plus and of course probiotic yogurt. We evaluated lactose-free milk. We evaluated the fortified Brookside Plus fortified UHT milk with vitamin A and D, and of course fortified UHT milk with fiber, and then the Brookside Lala. We also looked at the Brookside low-fat milk. I will not repeat what my colleague has talked about, the kind of labeling. So then I summarize my presentation in this form. In the probiotic yogurt, key to my point of evaluation is the claim about it being probiotic. Probiotic means we know that yogurt, you process it, normal circumstance, under normal yogurt, you have two types of strains of bacteria that should be used to make yogurt under normal circumstance. But because you are claiming you are adding more beneficial bacteria, then we went straight to look at the beneficial bacteria, whether they really exist or it is a talk. So mine was very specific. Do you have them or not? If you don't, then it is null and void, all right? So mine was that simple. And then when that happened, we were looking at two main bacteria, which is Lactobacillus acidophilus and Bifidobacterium lactis. And we found they were in adequate amounts, actually good enough for us to make that claim. And so in that front, they met the criteria. In that sense, as a food scientist, I would then say probiotic yogurt then may be used in several ways. And in a number of ways, my colleague will tell you in clinical setup, there are even times that we even say that there are some set of wounds that you have to add yogurt in order to balance up your bacteria, because when you have been on antibiotics for long, the balance of bacteria actually go down. And that's why we normally say, please take fermented food products, and yogurt become one of the key. I am not going into your area, but scientists are scientists. Then we looked at the lactose-free milk, which, of course, you are looking at what level of protein, what level of lactose, and what level of acidity do you have in this product. And for us, they were meeting the requirement. And by the way, the compliance was tested against KEBS, and KEBS now, of course, are using the EAS, KS standards that we normally use. So that means they can be traded across East Africa once they meet that standard. The other critical part that we looked at, of course, when it came to Lala, of course, Lala is also fermented, but then you want to look at whether you are viable or alive bacteria, and whether the acidity and, of course, the protein meet the requirement. And they were all meeting the minimum or the set standards. So they were compliant. Then the other front is looking at, you have told me that the value chain is thumbs up. It's cost beyond 90, very high score. It's almost going to 100. I was a bit jittery to see almost 100. But because, of course, the system, as you know, it is a good system, then I looked at, okay, let's look at the level of compliance in terms of hygiene standards. And then that means you look at the microorganisms that normally will come from the human beings, and of course, from the animals or from the processes all away. And you are looking at what we are calling coliforms. You are looking at Staphylococcus aureus, which are normally everywhere in the opening. And of course, you are looking at the total viable bacteria. And then when that was done, we had a very high level of compliance. Having indicated that, because I said I would be short, I must then conclude that the products that are today being endorsed by KNDI, in my view, as an independent scientist, now I'm desegregating myself from KNDI, but this is important, is that in terms of the probiotic yogurt, they actually are compliant, and they are meeting the level of live bacteria that is required for one to declare them probiotic. And that when you look at the lactose-free milk, the low-fat milk, the fiber, the UHT fiber, and of course the one with vitamin A and B, and the Lala, you would then see that all the parameters that were tested were within the standards. The samples then were found fit in terms of the physical, chemical, and microbiological properties, and can be promoted, in my view, or in our view. Let me not put I, now it is KNDI. You know, when it comes to litigation, I'm not there. You only call me. That is now KNDI. But we work very closely with KNDI because, as he said, food science is the foot. I was very keen to hear where food science come. And without a foot, you can't walk. So in our view, they can be promoted as healthy products to the public. In that sense, then, the compliance level of the Brookside Dairy Limited process, I think I will leave it to you to come and wrap it up. And ladies and gentlemen, that then brings me to the end of my presentation and say thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You know, one key problem about scientists is that we are not like marketers. They don't say what they have and what they want to keep it on hold because they are worried about whether people will hear it or it will be a jargon. And that's one problem. However, I think it is important for me to now make the concluding remarks before I hand over back to CEO to now call the chair to do the necessary. The entire performance of the products in Brookside, and that is why Professor Bong was worried, they scored very high. The marks that has been scored here is 95.36%. When somebody scored 95.36, you know, you don't tell them to repeat. You let them go. So that is the score in the overall, both the science and the process. And therefore, let me now invite Dr. Keyo to take the legal bit of it. Now, this one here is a high-end process, which Professor Bong was worried about, the litigative process now. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Abong and Professor Nguka. They are both associate professors, and also nutritionists have really gone to school, if you didn't know. Let me say that. And we have been saying this even when we go to inspect universities, that nutritionists are not those that they used to think are called domestic workers. Now we are beyond domestic work. We have gone to the level of science. And as you can hear, you are yet to hear another science after the chair's remark. So what we are going through is now the legal process. And I know Prof is talking about litigation. But KNDI was created to be litigated. That's why it's called body corporate that can sue and can be sued. So we don't fear litigation. In fact, we take people to court, we arrest with the prosecutors, and we are also taken to court. But we don't necessarily need to be taken to court if the process is of integrity. And so I can assure you, this process is not a one-time process. It runs for some time. And it has been completed. It even includes discussions with committees before we come here, and also the council. So Madam Chair is here, and she's going to read for us the statement that will then lead us to the endorsement process. And as I said earlier, we have changed the program so that the nutrition relevance comes after. So then Madam Dr. Evelyn Ngirikacha will come, read the statement, and if you allow, she will also be escorted to leave. Chairs don't stay longer for small things that people do. Thank you. Madam Chair, you can come. Join me to welcome her.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, just like you've heard, my name is Dr. Evelyn Kiligacha. I'm the chairperson of KNDI and also a senior lecturer at Pwani University. That's why you heard the CEO say that she's from Kilifi. That is in the coastal region. Okay, thank you. So I'm here to read the endorsement statement and memorandum of understanding, that is the MOU, on Brookside series of milk products. That is Brookside lactose-free milk, Brookside Plus probiotic yogurt, Brookside Plus fortified UHT milk with vitamin A and D, Brookside Plus fortified UHT with fiber, Brookside low-fat milk, and Brookside Lala. An act of parliament created a KNDI to provide training for training, registration, and licensing of nutritionists and dietitians, to provide for the regulation on the standards and practice of the profession, to ensure their effective participation in matters related to nutrition and dietetics, and for connected purposes. Kenya Nutritionist and Dietitian Institute, that is KNDI, Council, as a function to actively participate in review of foods and food supplements and the provisions of Section 6J of amended version of Cap 253B in Health Laws Amendment of May 2019, read together with Section 6J, read together with Section 36.2 of Cap 253B. The vision of the Institute is an innovative regulatory institute in the provision of nutrition and dietetics services recognized internationally. The Institute firmly believes in setting gold standards in nutrition and dietetics with a lens of consumer safety and well-being. Therefore, the Institute provides an enabling environment for sustainable improvement of nutrition and dietary status of all Kenyan population groups. Section 6E of the Nutritionist and Dietitian Act 18, 2007 allows the Institute to research into and provide public education on nutrition and dietetics, while Section 6H allows designing programs and methods for sensitization on suitable dietary and nutritional habits. The purpose, KNDI in collaboration with Brookside Dairy Limited Company planned to engage in self-regulation of Brookside Plus series of milk products to build customer confidence as part of research and education of the Kenyan population on good dietary habits. Then number 7, to carry out an inspection of Brookside Dairy Limited for possible endorsement of Brookside Plus of series of milk products in accordance with Section 6I, 13J, and 36.2 of the Nutritionist and Dietitian Act number 18 of 2007. This was also in line with Section 6E and H of core functions. Section 6J gives the Council mandate to work jointly with other bodies, participate actively in the review of food supplement, and nutrition supplements with nutrition claims. This function is reaffirmed under the functions of accreditation committee as per Section 13J of the same Act. And miscellaneous provisions of the Act are 1, quote, Section 36.2 on offenses, and I quote, any person who markets food and nutrition supplements without analysis, certification and registration by the Council commits an offense and is liable to conviction to a fine not exceeding 200,000 shillings or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years or both. End of quote. Details on Brookside Plus series of milk products report. Probiotic yogurt meets the standards on key parameters as per the results supplied from independent laboratory tests, which we've already witnessed. At the same time, the yogurt has beneficial live microorganisms and hence qualify as probiotic. Lactobacillus, Acidophilus, and Bifidobacterium were enumerated and found available in the product tested. Probiotic are live bacteria with health benefits to the consumer, and they operate in different mechanisms. Lactose-free, low-fat milk, fiber samples, A and B, LALA, as well as vitamin A and D samples and parameters within standards. The samples were found fit in terms of physiochemical and microbiological properties and can be promoted as health products to the public. The compliance level of Brookside Dairy Limited process value chain for products, namely lactose-free milk, probiotic yogurt, functional UHT milk with vitamin A and D, and functional UHT milk with vitamin A and fiber standards, stands at 95.36%, which is very high. I congratulate you for that. Endorsement statement. The Institute has put into consideration the robust value chain methodologies applied to the Brookside Plus series of milk products for senior scientists, along with diverse expertise in science to give quality assurance and integrity on the product and its use. Based on 19 above, the Institute has considered the objects in Cap 253B of the Law of Kenya as highlighted in Section 6J and 13J, read together with Section 6.2 of Cap 253B, revised version of 2019, to register and certify the Brookside Plus series of milk products for public use as a food oil with nutrition claims, which therefore cumulate into endorsement within the scope of Cap 253B. The endorsement shall be guided by a detailed memorandum of understanding signed between Kenya Nutritionist and Dietitians Institute and Brookside Dairy Limited as detailed in the Annex 1, and shall take effect from the date the MOU is fully sealed by signatories from representatives of both parties. Thank you.
It is very simple, like that. So when the chair makes that statement, it means that we have, the council has approved the endorsement process. What is going next is basically the active work of operations after this, and I would request Taib and Madam Purity to please escort the chair out of this place. And the rest, you come back, Madam Purity, so that we can go on. You don't need to go very far, just don't go far. We need the Taib to be here for the signatory. So, thank you. So, Madam Chair, as you go, we request that Taib comes back. Prof, you can alert him, or one of, Brenda, you can alert Taib to come back so that he can listen to the last bit, then we go to the table. As at now, are we happy with the process, first of all? And have we witnessed the process that we went through? A value chain process is critical for any food. And I want to make a statement which is either political, technical, or an assurance to the public. Many times, I know a few weeks ago, I got a call from the office of the Attorney General, that is one of the council there, saying that, don't you think you are taking up the role of KEBS? And I told her, don't you think that you have not read the law? You know, there are times when we have to read to understand. KEBS are custodians of standards. And I want us to get out of this place knowing very well the role of KEBS. They are custodians of standards. And if you have been watching keenly their report to the public, they have indicated there are certain things they don't do. KEBS will not tell you that this product with this loading of this amount of protein is good for human consumption. KNDI will go, after you have met KEBS requirement, to check whether the loading is for good human health and well-being. So beyond the diamond mark, there must be an assurance that what is inside there is not toxic. So that is where the scientists come in, and that is where nutrition begins. After your product has gone through compliance based on the set standards, and they're meeting those standards, and they've been given diamond, they've been sealed with diamond mark to indicate that they are conforming, then somebody has to ask, if you consume too much sugar, is it good for your health? If you consume probiotics, is it going to help your gut system? KEBS will not tell us whether the gut system will be correctly balanced. That is the difference. And that is what was not coming out to the legal counsel. And as usual in the legal field, if you are a CEO, you must understand it. So we agreed that, you have to go and read the law, and then 2, you must stick to the legal knowledge, because then you are not a nutritionist. So we have to guide you on how can we bring all this together. So Parliament, in their wisdom, gave us that responsibility to review food actively, jointly with other bodies. And very soon, if the Food and Drug Authority is formed, then in that law, Section 13J says KNDI will be active in that committee of food reviews within that authority. Now that the authority is not there and the Ministry of Health has delayed, KNDI cannot stop. We are not lazy people. We go ahead and assure Kenyans. I hope I'm understood very well. Because 2019 to date, the Food and Drug Authority should have been in place. True or false? But we have lazy people who don't want to put it there. So they have to really, we steal the show so that they can become annoyed, and then they form the authority. Then we will be active in that authority. Are we together? So do we see the difference between KEBS and KNDI? Now, we both jointly operate such that if we find that you don't comply with KEBS conformity requirements, we can't approve. Because then you are not complying with other laws. That is what is meant by joint working. But it's not who is supposed to do what. What should be, who is supposed to assure Kenyans of safety. Have you seen water with the diamond mark that are toxic? Now, who is checking them? The public health officers are supposed to check that such products are wholesome. KEBS has already given a diamond mark, but we are still seeing coliforms if you do some of the tests. Why? Because there must be somebody else to check and enforce. So the public health officers are enforcing safety. So they're also working jointly with other bodies. So that was the intention. So I want to now get to the nutrition relevance of probiotics. When we were coming up with the Section 6J of the Nutritionist Act, we came up with that amendment because there was no provision in the active part of the law that was in line or matching with Section 36(2), which says if you don't analyze or you don't have approval of the council, then you commit an offense. So many times before we did for Weetabix in 2017, we were asked, yes, that is an offense, but based on what? So we had to bring in actively review, then must be analyzed. So that was amended, and immediately it was done, we started. And now we are on. We are waiting for the rest who are lazy to come and join us. So Brookside, we are happy. The council has told us that we are okay. Can we clap? Now I want to talk as a scientist, then we move to the table. Medical nutrition therapy. And when we talk of medical nutrition therapy, I want us to understand that nutrition is not about health, working in a health facility only. Nutrition begins from the field to the industry. So we talk of from field to fork, from the ground to the table, from the field to the food industry, and from the food industry to human. And now for those who are sick in the hospital. We don't want people to be sick to be taken to the hospital. So we have 6 nutritionists. 1 is a community nutritionist, a public health nutritionist, a food service diet therapist, a food science nutritionist, a clinical nutritionist like Professor Nguka, and a clinical dietitian. The government has not understood this well, but that is where we are headed. Those are the 3 categories of nutritionists. So we have what we call medical nutrition. And medical nutrition is about nutrition in relation to well-being and human health. And medical nutrition therapy is what makes the nutritionists to be regarded as medical professionals. Sometimes I tell medical doctors that you think nutrition is a cook, they are medical professionals. Just like you are also a medical professional but a physician. Someone is a medical professional but a consultant physician. Someone is a medical professional and is a nurse. Someone is a public health officer and is a medical professional. So medical profession is for all the health cadres, and that is why the Health Act and also the Health Act 2017 was brought on board. So let me take us through the Brookside. A claim means an assertion of the presence of nutrients and include modification with human health and well-being connotation. So Brookside, are we claiming something? Do we want to say that probiotic is brought for human consumption as a medical therapy? Or is it to fill the stomach? Which of the two? Medical. Okay. Well-being? Okay. So if it is medical, which means health, and then well-being, then it means a claim. So it is relevant for Section 6J, actively review those with claims. And so we have 6 products. 1 is lactose-free milk, which we have given a reference. And then when it comes to lactose-free, now I'm educating because the law says we do educate. Lactose-free means that the milk that is whole is pre-digested. So Brookside has a machine, I don't want to disclose so much, which then behaves like a body, human body, to help those who cannot manufacture. So they just separate galactose from glucose. And then it remains in that free state to be called lactose-free. It's very simple. And that tool is there as a machine. The human body also has that machine. But now, for those who don't have that machine, that when they're taken there, they say, I'm lactose intolerant, they can get the pre-digested one. That's what it means by lactose-free. And one of the questions we ask deeply, what if this enzyme that is separating the two continues to the product? And then we discover that after a certain period, it disappears, just like it disappears in the body. So these things are coexisting as milk, but separated to operate differently to make it lactose-free. So those who can digest the galactose, they just get it. Is that a bad technology? Still human, technology enhanced. So that is lactose-free. Then we have Brookside Plus probiotic, which we are going to endorse, and you can see them there. This is well explained. We have fortified UHT milk with vitamin A and D. The current regulation in the Ministry of Health requires that fortification becomes a must at the point of production, both for flours, oils, and other products. And of course, Brookside has complied with that regulations. If they do, then we ask is to confirm whether what they have on the pack is actually there. And so the analysis has revealed that there is vitamin A, vitamin D within the recommended standards. So then we assure the public that it is true, they are fortifying. But then now we will tell our nutritionist, if you are getting into therapeutic, then also recommend those that are fortified for cases that need it, that are targeted. So that is now a well-being. I don't want to talk about health, because anytime you talk about health, the Ministry of Health thinks that you are mine. So we want to talk about health and well-being, because that is where we are all housed. Anytime you want to talk about agriculture, the Ministry of Agriculture thinks that you are. So we talk about nutrition-sensitive agriculture. A claim has been defined. True. Then we have vitamin A and D, and then we have fortified UHT with fiber. Fiber can either be roughages in form or soluble. So we have those that are inside a liquid that you can't see, but there are those that you can't see. They are all very important in human health. Then we have low fat, which we had recommended that we need to classify it within science, because when you talk of low fat, it must be what has been prescribed by KEBS within the standards. And when you talk of reduced fat, then you are cheating us a bit. So that needs to be checked. Reduced fat, reduced by what? Or by how much? But if it is low fat, it is defined by standards. It is in under KEBS. So now that is acceptable. Low fat is okay, but we can't have a label reduced fat. You just call it low fat, but you can say 3%, 0.3%, 4%. Then Lala. Now, I want to talk about one product which is called probiotics. And I will not get to the details of probiotics. Professor Bong said, balance the gut system. When you take antibiotics, chances are that you'll have imbalances in the system. We take probiotics to return it to the normal balance. So the probiotics have useful bacteria that can enhance human health, and it is not a science of yesterday. It is a science of many, many years ago. And if you look at the history of probiotics from the many years ago, between 1950 to date, there has been consistent review of microbiota. And so the gut system is becoming a concern for everybody. You eat, you are not okay, and you start blaming the cooks. You only need to balance the system by taking more of probiotic. And what is it? In addition to the usual yogurt, which mainly has two commonly known bacteria, you add more other varieties that are beneficial. And that is what we find in this probiotic. Now, lastly, we are told that probiotics have been used in treatment. Research is still going on for confirmation, but we know that matters of obesity, type 2 diabetes, autism, osteoporosis, and some immunological orders, like the immune problems, have been treated with microbiota, that is probiotics. And this is very important for us, for the Kenyans. So if we have confirmed that there are adequate amounts needed for additional live bacteria in the probiotics, then why not tell Kenyans they can use it, both as usual personal intervention or at medical level, that is for medical interventions. And as I conclude, thousands of problems that make Kenyans die are in the gut system. They are where? is in the stomach. And remember, the stomach is outside the body. Professor, am I lying? The stomach is outside the body. If you look at the roundworm, the coelom, inside there, that thing is outside. It's external. So stomach is outside the body, but should be properly treated. Professor here has maintained someone. How many months were they? 6 months in Nairobi Hospital. 2 years without stomach eating. So then it means stomach is outside the body. But the stomach that is existing, which is in correct order, should be protected from any form of damage. What damages the stomach, which leads to colon cancer and many, is actually imbalances in that gut system, which probiotic can do. So don't you think that we have taught you? Can you pay us? This is what we do that Parliament told us to go and do. The last time we were in Parliament, they were asking us, they were comparing this product with what? We said, you don't need to compare with any product. You need science to compare the science product or scientific product. We cannot say Brookside compared to maybe another dairy company. They did well. No. It is the Brookside one and Brookside alone that did well within the parameters of assessment. So we are confident that if we endorse the product, we are also ready for litigation because it's well stipulated. But now it is not Brookside. You go and feed the people. For us, what remains is ours. Okay, you explain to us and your team how Brookside became endorsed. 1, value chain. 2, product analysis. 3, the importance of nutrition. And 4, why it is relevant for Kenyan public, the wisdom of Parliament. So with that, I want you to help me acknowledge those who are in the front line of science, like Professor Bong here. Sometimes we used to ask him, why are you the head of nutrition? You're not a nutritionist. And we almost removed him. But he said, you can't survive without food science. That is the relevance. So we told him, okay, then you must be given associate member of KNDI so that at least you are in our records because you are touching nutritionists. And he said, no problem. But now we find him more useful than the nutritionists themselves who studied how to use the nutrients in human. He studied what kind of nutrients to be used. We are related, isn't it? So he did very well. And Professor Nguka, tirelessly, he has done well. And many other scientists who were there. Don't forget me, I'm not a poor scientist. Very serious one. It's only that I'm a CEO. But we have done very well in this value chain. The report is going to be in the public domain. It is available, except we will not show you the score, but you will see the general sequence. And we welcome you. For those who are having products, come, we'll do the value chain. We have done now, this is the 4th product. We started with Weetabix. We went to Roycom Chusi Mix, which was very problematic. Was it beef brand? And then we came to fresh fries, which now, that was a mega study. And then now we are on Brookside. But I can make this announcement. If it is high sugar, don't come to us. Because our aim is to protect anything that is a risk to NCDs. So don't come to us. But if you have found another sugar whose structure is different from the usual one, we know, come. Can we clap for? All right? Now I would want to invite the scientists, all of them, and of course Taib. Before that, we take a picture with the scientists, then we leave you here for your speech. So you can come prepared. And we had, I've forgotten the name. Oh, my friend, come. Please, you need to come and join me here. Willis, Yeah, so we are welcoming the scientist for just one, and Reza, the marketing director, and our council members. We just take with the committee. And then after that, we can have, yes, council members, please. So we will just take one photo. And then from there now we can leave type. Once you have been approved, it is your day. You can say what you want. Just like Prof was saying, after the wedding, you can throw your leg up, you can run with the head.
Now you can be sure there is no court order. We have not seen anybody claiming.
Yes, just one. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. So Taib, you can come for your speech.
Tuwapigie makofi jamani. I think now we want to invite the Director Marketing to give a corporate statement from Brookside Dairy on this event. Director Reza, just coming to the rostrum. Just a reminder, from now we are live on national TV.
Wow, live on national TV. Why me? Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. David Okeo, Chief Executive Officer at KNDI, all the stakeholders, and ladies and gentlemen, very welcome. We are delighted to be part of this process, to witness today's endorsement of our high-quality products by the Kenya Nutritionist and Dietitians Institute. As you are all aware, the human body needs a balanced proportion of 7 vital nutrients: proteins, minerals, fats, vitamins, fiber, carbohydrates, and water. Typically, these nutrients perform a specific task in maintaining metabolic functions of the body. Adequate nutrition is therefore the key to sustainable growth through all stages of life. As the first and yet only dairy company to be accredited by the KNDI, and indeed the only company to have multiple products endorsed by the country's apex nutritionist body, Brookside Dairy, takes pride in having innovative products that address some of these nutritional needs of the population. We have invested in products that address nutritional requirements like vitamin A and D, besides offering variants for those who are lactose intolerant. In addition, our range includes products that are laden with high fiber and this specific dietary need. Moreover, our probiotic yogurt ensures a healthy gut for all our consumers. Brookside Dairy, as an ethical player in the country's food landscape, is thus greatly honored by today's event, which is anchored in law arising from the KNDI's mandate as outlined in CAP 258B laws of Kenya. We are aware that the main goal of the KNDI is to provide an enabling environment for sustained improvement of nutrition and dietary status of all Kenya's population groups. We are also informed that the KNDI is the only such body with the legal framework in the entire continent designed to comprehensively and inclusively handle issues related to food, nutrition, dietetics for the improvement of the well-being of humanity. Today's endorsement by such a reputable partner therefore enhance the brand personality and credibility of Brookside Dairy products. Needless to say, the involvement of the KNDI cements brand equity for all our targeted products. We thus commend the KNDI and the government for the journey we have walked together, culminating in today's endorsement. We remain committed to facets of the governing contractual arrangement, and we will continue to play our part to ensure that the partnership continues to grow for mutual benefit of both entities. Finally, we wish to thank all officers from both the KNDI and Brookside Dairy for their individual and collective contributions to this important exercise. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You know, when you have been, your product or has been endorsed, you must also accept endorsement. And of course, the speech has accepted the endorsement. And if Reza said that KNDI is the only such body in the continent, it's actually in the world. Yes, because we don't have an act of parliament for nutritionists and dietitians anywhere in the world. We only have American Dietetics Association. That is the best that we have been relying on. Now we have Zambia, which came with the food and nutrition security, but it's a service act, not a regulatory act. So we are still number one. And we have to really appreciate Madam Warentho here and team, and Professor Julia Ojiambo with the wisdom of writing this act. I'm sure if this act come to this parliament, now it can't go through. Anyway, that is for another day, but I'm sure it can't go through. But that wisdom was a classic wisdom. It has given us. Now, just for your information, before we get to question answer, just a few questions. I know that Rwanda is benchmarking with KNDI to see how theirs can go to parliament. Uganda the same. But we have said, because you have used the KEBS standards and complied, and because the experts have said the product is good, why not? You can also go to Rwanda, Tanzania, Zambia, wherever, and have your product there, because it has a reference. So Brookside, I know, is in Uganda, so we can go everywhere and sell the product, because the scientists have spoken, true? Yes, the scientists have spoken. So I would want to invite Prof for just a few questions and answer, and then we can, I don't know whether we are ready. This side, yes. From here, we move with the TAIB and the witnesses. We sign the MOU. This MOU is going to be for 4 years, renewable. And the question of what if Brookside tomorrow change their product, we go to the supermarkets directly without informing them for purposes of monitoring the consistency of the product. Yeah.
Yes, I think that's one of the questions. You know, when we were preparing to come and endorse this product, it was already a wash of social media. Many of you don't know. But those of you who are in social media, the questions were already coming to us, and among them was, how will you ensure that whatever you have endorsed today is the same thing that will be consistent in between 4 years? I was hearing that question. I hope it is now not going to come up. We have already answered that we will go, even without the instruction of Brookside. They'll just get 1 or 2 products, sample them across the country, and take them for analysis without their knowledge. So that's one. And of course, you, the public, is also free to let us know. But generally, if you look at one of the standards, one of the key standards that Brookside did very well was the fact that they have a capacity to recall. In case there is a product that is not complying, the system is in place, and they have already done mock recalls. In reality, they have not done any recall before, but they've already done some mock recalls, and we are intentionally putting that there because we know in case there is a non-compliant product, they'll get it out of the market, and they will report to the relevant bodies. Among the relevant bodies to report to, we mentioned what? KNDI. Sindio? KEBS. Sindio? The authority which is expected to be formed, it has not been formed yet, and any other relevant body. So we expect that to come in. So let me give opportunity now to the public to ask any question, whether it is social, legal, science. We are here. We want to answer those questions. so that they don't go out to rebuke all of us. We are ready. Even if it is political, we are ready. First question? Yes. There it is. Oh, the fourth estate was here. You didn't welcome them, Bana. You want us to have problems.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Frederick from KBC. And my question is this. It just follows up with the last statement. What happens now if they withdraw one of their products without informing you? We just get to hear from, maybe from the hearsay or from the public. What will happen from there now? Thank you so much.
Okay. Dr. K, you can answer. Or I answer. Let me pick them. Give me that pen. I thought I had some pen here. Okay, half. So what if Brookside withdraws silently, undercover, when they withdraw without telling us? Okay. Yes, we are going to answer the questions. Another one? Any other query? Any other query? Yeah? Even compliments. Even compliments. You know, one thing that I was discussing with Dr. Keo before we came here is how this product I've personally used to a child with sickle cell. Of course, I presented a paper on sickle cell. I've done a lot of research in sickle cell. And one of the key things that we realize is that imbalance of the gut microbiota was causing more problems for the management of sickle cell children. And I've managed to now have a child of sickle cell, about 4 or 5 of them, where we have completely reduced hospital admissions. And one of them is now in high school here at State House Girls, and I'm monitoring completely on probiotic. In fact, here Brookside. And one key thing is that we don't fear when we talk about science, because you can only challenge me on science. You'll not challenge me politically. You must go down to science and come to the lab and deal with Professor Abong and myself, if you can. I know it is an expensive affair. It's not a joke to carry those results. To carry out those laboratory analysis is not a joke. It's not a walk in the park. So you must be very serious to come out. So we are very happy about the products. That's why we are saying, if you want to compliment, thank you very much. There's another one there. Just right behind.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Dina.
Yes.
I work for Brookside. Brookside is home. I'm in charge of digital, so my question is on the use of your logo. What are the limitations of using your logo, especially on the digital content? And are there guidelines on how you would like your logo to appear on the digital content? Because I don't want to be on the wrong side of the legal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those ones will be answered. You have the CEO here. I have no problem. My work is reduced. Anything science, we are here. Abong is here and myself. Okay? Any other? Are we comfortable? To the fourth estate. And allow me to officially greet Cheruiyot, who has been our partner for the last more than many years, since 2007. Since the born of the act, Cheruiyot has been here with us. Cheruiyot does not grow old, you may not know. Could be the story could be around probiotic. Have we been using probiotic? Okay. Thank you very much. So for the benefit of the media, as Dr. K will be coming, is that, and Professor Bong will confirm, that this was real science. Okay? This was real science. The report that we have given here, we will selectively give it out to the public because it also borders on the intellectual property rights of KEBS, of Brookside. But we know too much about these products that we've talked about, okay? And therefore, even from the medical perspective, and Carol is here, and I know Carol has also been from the MOH, not just in general, nationally. Carol come from the national, but you are aware that the service delivery, particularly of medical, is a devolved function, isn't it? But from a policy perspective, national. We have all agreed that generally yogurt products are products that we now use so efficiently within the clinical area. And those of us who have been through the HIV era, some of you have participated, and Warentho here has been a practitioner in matters nutrition for the longest time. Warentho has only changed tires. She has not retired. She has only changed tires. She's now working separately. But before her new reincarnation, she was in KNH, Kenyatta National Hospital. And she will confirm to you that one of the key products they used to use, especially when patients are suffering from what we call oral thrush or the Candida albicans, candidiasis. And candidiasis, you know, it can run all the way from the mouth down. As Dr. Koy was saying, this gut here is an outside. It's outside the human body because some politician says it's a complete pipe from your mouth to the anus, isn't it? It's a complete pipe. Usually it can be invaded. Because of those changes that Professor Bong was talking about, it can be invaded, and specifically with Candida albicans. It's a fungal infection. Many of us know that fungi thrive in alkaline environment, isn't it? So you bring down acidity a bit, you misbalance that fungal, and then it changes. Same, our ladies understand very well. Overuse of antibiotics. I don't want to mention many things. I'm just educating, isn't it? When after use of these high-level antibiotics, there'll be some problems, isn't it? Not just for ladies, even for us men. Isn't it? And if you don't reintroduce those microbes for balance, then you'll have problems. This is encouraged. So we are talking of something that is tested scientifically, and we are ready for whoever has the science to come on board and tell us otherwise. Otherwise, thank you. Dr. Keyo, come and answer these questions, the two of them, withdrawal without us noticing and limitations of using of law.
I don't think I need that for KBC. You are talking about withdrawal of KBC channel. What is the name? Oh, Chariot. So we have just said that for Brookside to recall a product, they have to inform KNDI. Didn't we say that? Then we have also said we are going to sign an MOU with Brookside, and there are details of how we work. If you decide to withdraw and you don't tell the other party, that is a breach of the contract of MOU, which I don't think they would want to do that. So the working relationship between KNDI and Brookside is that within this period, before 4 years renewal, we have to be transparent to one another. So we only need transparency and accountability. I hope I've answered that one. Okay. For Elizabeth, the use of KNDI logo. KNDI has developed an endorsement mark. So as long as your product has been endorsed, you can use it as much as you can. In the MOU, there is a rider there that you can use the endorsement mark on billboards, on social media, on print, on visual. There's no limitation for use. It is only wrong if it is used wrongly. For example, if you now use the mark on a product that has not been endorsed, the rest, you can use it. So we have that mark. I don't know whether it was to be displayed somehow, but the IT, do we have the endorsement mark shared out? Is it on YouTube? Is it there, sir? On YouTube, the last one. Yes, so if you see that it is there already, and you can use it, Brenda, as much as you want. Now, what accompanies the mark is what you need to share with us in advance. Because you can have a mark, but the writing is very important. If you say endorsed by, then what is written after that should be what is approved within the science that is reported. Yeah, I think that's okay. So we are done. So then I think we can move forward for signing of MOU. I think, could I be seeing some MOUs there? I think we have ours. We are very organized, Taib. Let me show you how we are organized. I can see papers, but I can see leather. So I don't know which one we want to. Both of them have the same content. Which one is the best? My council members are saying that it has to be leather one. So what we are going to do is very simple. We have details of the same. Yes. Oh. Let me recognize the chief nutritionist, Kenyatta Hospital, the current one, the one sitting next to Madam Sistati. Madam Sistati is also a board member for ATRI program that is spearheading the research component under KNDI, which is on the value chain, yes. Okay.
Thank you very much, Dr. Okeyo. First and foremost, I'd like to appreciate your invitation, Brookside Limited. Our CEO was not able to make it to this meeting due to earlier scheduled engagements, Dr. Evanson Kamuri. So kindly accept his apology, but I'm here to represent KNH. So I thank you very much for the invitation. And I'd also like to commend Brookside Limited for Brookside Dairies for the range of products that you have developed. And some of them have actually a medical therapeutic effect, and that is very commendable. Now, my question goes to, or concerns the prebiotic brand. We all know the health benefits of prebiotics, and especially me as a nutritionist, that is where my interest lies. Now, there's this practice we have in the preparation, preparation of porridge. We add mala because we want our patients to get the prebiotics from the mala. But you find that this porridge is heated. So is there any effect on the prebiotic content or load? Now, since we have our food scientists here, I'd like them to kindly enlighten us on that. And then also, like for the younger children, you find that most of us store the yogurt in the fridge. And therefore, when we want to give them the yogurt, we put it in warm water, a water bath, just to warm it a little bit so that they don't get, like throat infections and so on and so forth. So is that a good practice? What would the food scientists tell us about that?
The food scientist, Prof, you want to?
Thank you very much for the question. I think two things here: prebiotic and probiotic. Pre means before, pro means, so that means you have that microorganism existing. After all you have done, it must exist. So pre means you have things that promote the microorganism to exist. But the question is very clear. If you ever heat after inoculation, basically kill all of them. But the process that this is undergoing is that you inoculate, it multiplies, you have your yogurt, and you must be taking yogurt with those microorganisms inside. So nothing has died. But if you go ahead and heat it like the uji is usually you do fermentation. So you have beneficial products of fermentation. So some of them are the fatty acid, some of them are lactic acid, which of course changes the acidity. So if you go ahead and heat it, then you kill the live microorganisms. So what you are left with in that sense is the byproducts or the products of fermentation, but the microorganism is gone. So if you want the live microorganism, then you must avoid heating, unless you are going to tell me you are going to apply very mild heating, which now comes to what we now call mild treatment. So that is very clear. The beauty with this, Daktari, no heating after that. No heating, so you get the whole microorganism. Thank you.
So I request Professor Nguka, Taib, we move to the table. What we'll be doing is to sign all the documents and then exchange. And then each person remains with their own. I think it's simple. Thank you very much.
So, Madam Sitati, welcome. I think it's when I'm seeing you. Sitati is my member of the ATRI. And also, you can see how good things are. You know, when I see Sitati and Warentho, I'm wondering, one has inherited the other. But they're still enjoying each other. It's company. Many of the people, once you leave office, you don't even want to see the other one. I love that working relationship. No wonder things are doing well in KNH. Thank you very much.
So tuwapigie makofi jamani wakianza kusign. CEO KNDI pamoja na Group Chief Operating Officer putting their seals of authority over that contractual document between the two of them, between the two entities. And in a while they shall exchange that particular instrument, which now has some legal facet within it. And accompanying our Group Chief Operating Officer is our Director Marketing, together with the two General Managers and our Health and Nutrition Manager. Tuwapigie makofi tena. Aya, sasa the next phase is counter signing of that particular instrument between Brookside Dairy and the Institute, which is anchored within the Ministry of Health. Na wakimaliza hivyo, kazi yetu sisi ambao tulioketi ni kuwapatia tu makofi na kuangalia. Now that they want to exchange, we want to make it with more pomp. I shall prompt you people. Hawa ni wakubwa wetu, tukiwaona wamesimama sisi wote pia tutasimama where we are as the exchange na tupige makofi jinsi ambavyo nitawaeleza. Bado anafanya signing, actually counter signing for the two entities. The instrument is being duly witnessed as espoused by the law in both intent and spirit, so that it is binding for the mutual benefit of both Brookside Dairy and the Institute, the KNDI. So wakati wana exchange the files, ndio tutarise all of us, and there shall be some moment of pomp. I'm told the signal is very live. That's why I keep talking, so that those who are watching at home, the TV is not quiet. Yes, so wakimaliza tutawapatia makofi tukiamka. Wakiamka sisi tunaamka. Wakirusha tunafanya nini? Yes. Very good. Very good. Just a moment of verification. One of those events where even a comma can change the meaning. and everything has been checked and rechecked several times, both for direct and implied meanings, and everything's okay. Tusimame sisi wote. Aya, makofi ya Nyayo. Moja. Tena. 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 Until we get the right photo. Tena. Tena. I'll tell you when the photo is right. Tena. Now I want to request our two principals to display that document to us, without just around yes. They are going to display that document to us. I think what we can do, because it's a bit clumsy, yes. Are we okay? Makofi ya Nyayo. Moja. Tena. 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 Brookside Dairy pamoja na wizara ikiwakilishwa na the institute. Asante. Asante sana. Ketini, members of the audience. Thank you very much, our two protagonists. Thank you very much. Dr. Keo still going on with the rest of the program. Daktari.
So, if I'm going to do the last bit of giving the certificates for each product, what we do is that we know that this is a dairy series, and dairy series has brands. And so each brand is treated as a unique food product. So on our website, if you go to the listing, we have a 004, which is for the dairy brand, milk. And then we have unique types, which depict each brand. So we have done 6 brands in total. So each of the brand has a certificate. Maybe for purposes of media, the KNDI mark of endorsement is what is here. So if you come across it, it looks like the diamond mark, but it's not. It is unique on its own. It has our logo, and also it has some unique reference. So this is a mark. And the product here is LFC, which is Large Food Company, Brookside, 004 01 type B. So that is the first product, type B, which means a company can have many products lines for approval. So I'll be inviting the directors to come and receive officially the certificate, and I will give them as a badge. Martin, do we have the last one? Not yet. So we will give them as a bunch, but there's one last one, which is on the way because of the signing error. Yes. So we give you the standard one. So you are welcome, type. And our team of marketing and professor, you can come, and our council members, so that I can give these certificates officially on camera. Sorry. So thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a similar fashion, perhaps the most critical certificates for each of the endorsed products with specific codes. And Dr. Okeo, CEO, Kenya Nutritionists and Dietitians Institute, awarding those certificates to our Group Chief Operating Officer. Na nilisema tunawapigia makofi wakati anampatia. Moja, tena, asante sana. Asante sana. Daktari, hii ilikuwa ya gani hiyo? Okay, the next certificate is going to be received by Director Reza. Tupigie makofi moja. Okay. Okay. Asante sana. The next to receive is the Director of Manufacturing. Director of Manufacturing is going to receive the next certificate. Na akifika pale, yeye ndiye anafunga hiyo maziwa. Kwa hivyo, it's very much in order. Aya, makofi kwa director moja. Tena. Asante sana, Director of Manufacturing. The next certificate by the Director of Finance, who can just decide now, he can just choose not to pay anything. He can just decide not to pay. So tupigie makofi akienda pale juu. Tupigie makofi. Haya, moja. Tena. Asante sana. Asante. The next one is going to be received by the GM, the GM Brenda, Innovations and New Product Development. That is within her ambit. She's the one who sits down and decides the trajectory we take as a company in terms of new products. Moja. Asante sana. Asante sana. Now, before you leave, Daktari, before you leave, I would like to invite our General Manager in charge of Quality Assurance. Naye akuja hapo juu, umsalimie, kwa sababu she is a main cog that turns the wheel of quality in this company. Tupigie Sabina makofi jamani. Yes. Now, before Sabina receives, because Daktari is with his team, I would like to invite our General Manager in charge of Finance, our General Manager in charge of Audit, our General Manager in charge of Milk Procurement, and our General Manager in charge of Human Resources to come to the rostrum to be part of the Brookside Dairy team flanking the Quality Assurance. We want to be flanked. We want to flank you there for that photo. Yes. Yes. Our general managers there. That's what we do at Brookside Dairy. We provide synergy for all our processes. As you can see. So you'll clap even the heavier for us. Where's the certificate, Madam Brenda? I want Daktari just to award GM Sabina again, so that we clap for her mzuri. Songesha kidogo. Flanked by peer GMs. Makofi moja. Tena. Asanteni sana. So that is basically the leadership of the two institutions. Asante sana. Daktari, you want something? Can we have Professor Bong? Okay, Professor Bong of not just University of Nairobi, but the University of Nairobi. Tupigie Professor makofi jamani. Asante sana. Yes. Our General Manager Technical is also in the set. Na cameraman asipoonekana, hiyo contract imevunjwa. So lazima aonekane. Yes. Tuwapigie makofi moja. Tena. Asante sana. Let's resume our seats, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I can see anxiety sketched on your faces. You've sat for quite some time, but for a good cause. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to announce that the Group Chief Operating Officer has kindly agreed to provide some bite for every one of us who is here. Can we clap for Brookside Dairy? So as soon as the vote of thanks is done, then we shall move there, led by the leadership of both entities. Now that our Plus range, our Brookside Plus range is officially endorsed, na wewe unafikiria ni kitu kidogo, ngoja magazeti utaona ilikuwa kitu kikubwa kweli. So what we want to do now is to provide some pomp and glamour. DJ, tupatie muziki hapo. DJ, tuchagulie. Makofi, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, DJ. Now, this is a testament that you were there yourself. You were there when the Institute was endorsing Brookside Dairy products. You were there. Can you clap for yourselves? Because then now, you are now part of the corporate history of Brookside Dairy Limited. Without much ado, I would like to invite the chaperone of the entire process, Caroline Mushobia, to come and give a vote of thanks. Pigia makofi asikie mzuri akija. So that is Caroline Mushobia, Brookside Dairy's Health and Nutrition Manager, our core interface with the Institute. The lady who has also brought us here, Dr. Okeo and team.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Carol Muchobia. I'm really glad to be here today. This is a journey that is 1 year old, 1 year and like 2 months. And for me, what I can say today, I'm seeing very familiar faces. I see Judy, I see Agnes, I see Warentho, I see Felix. These are nutritionists from different institutions. Just a second. I want to recognize the presence of the institutions that are here today. So I'll start, of course, with our partners, Tetra Pak, Gertrude's Hospital. You can just wave to the crowd. KNDI officials, I think there are a quorum of them, together with the council. Director of Planning, Development and Partnerships from Nairobi County. Where is he? I think he must have left. Ministry of Health, Caroline, representing Veronica. Thank you for coming. Aga Khan Hospital, Chief Nutritionist, Olo. KMTC, led by Maina and the team. Please wave to the team. Mater Hospital. Standard Group, the media houses that are all represented here. Thank you very much for coming. I'm going to just take you through a little bit of how the journey has been. Kenya Dairy Board, thank you for coming, and please say hi to Margaret when you're back. So we had a committee, and our committee comprised of different departments, of course led by our directors. We were already endorsed within the company before we started the process of endorsing, because we've been endorsed by KNDI, but we would not have done it if before we got an endorsement from our management. So we just started the journey with Reza some time back at the headquarters of KNDI in Mulolongo when you're endorsing Fresh Fry. It looked very far, but at least we managed to make it. The directors from different departments, obviously. Our group Chief Operating Officer, thank you very much. He endorsed the product. He endorsed the products before we started endorsing the products and the process. Thank you very much. Finance, Kennedy approved the costs and all that. So he also endorsed us. Director Manufacturing, perfect in the way we do things. The rest of the team, the GMs, Sabina, the scientists. You know, we have scientists also within Brookside, and I'm glad that you guys were able to merge and really work together, because scientists work with scientists. So at one point, some people would float, but we have the right team. So thank you, Sabina. Marketing department, Linda is a GM marketing, 2 weeks old. Thank you, and the team. I have my team in marketing. Please raise your hands from wherever you are. Ben, our scientist also, so we don't go wrong. When Okeo is talking to us, Dr. Okeo, at least we are able to resonate and be able to understand each other. So I'll mention the departments, maybe just by the list. Manufacturing, production, technical, research and innovation led by Brenda. Stores, QA, system and compliance. I'll mention 2 people that were very key, Gladys Wanjao and Rahab Mumbi. I wouldn't have made it without you. Thank you very, very much. And I'm here, I decided to recognize you for that. So for the event, I had my team, led by Brenda. Thank you very much for the effort and for making it the way it looks. So we have our suppliers. Thank you very much for putting this together. We have our agencies that we worked with, and we have our caterer, Karibuni Sana, for the refreshments, and our BAs, and we had a few casuals. I would want to appreciate everybody that is here. Simon, thank you. Kasiema, thank you. Thank you very much. Asante. So in history, I'm also endorsed. Yeah, thank you.
Asante sana, Caroline. So at this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, we want to partake of the offering by the Group Chief Operating Officer. So we shall respect our leadership and request Dr. Okeo
the bad bacteria, thereby giving us good health. Probiotics are live microorganisms that can be added into our food.
Sawa. DJ, barua yako iko njiani inakuja. Weka yeye tusikie kidogo basi. Weka sauti kidogo.
Yogurt provides you the... What do you know about bacteria? We have both good bacteria and bad bacteria in our bodies. The presence of the good bacteria eliminates the bad bacteria, thereby giving us good health. Probiotics are live microorganisms that can be added into our food to help us be able to maintain a healthy balance, thereby promoting good health and supporting our immune system. Brookside Plus Probiotic Yogurt provides you the goodness of good bacteria for a healthy gut and a good immune system. And you can use it in any form. Add it to your smoothies, drink it off the glass, and you will be able to enhance that healthy digestive system.
Makofi kwa Daktari Okere. Asante sana, asante sana. Like Caroline said, the endorsement process had begun a long time ago. So at this juncture, I would like to request Dr. Okeo, akiandamana na Group Chief, and our directors and our GMs and his HODs to ende pale so that we break the bread together as members of our family. And then I shall tell all the others, the rest of us, how we shall move. So the leadership for both institutions, our directors, HODs at the institute, council members, Brenda, lead them through. DJ, weka hiyo kitu tena tuone, hatujaiona vizuri. Before DJ, Wangoi, are you set? You are set, eh? Adhiambo, you are set, eh? Yeah, we are transmitting 1 p.m. news from here with these 2 ladies, eh? So the Brookside story is one of the top stories for 1 p.m. news, apart from the live one we have just transmitted. So DJ, wacha tuone.
What do you know about bacteria? We have both good bacteria and bad bacteria in our bodies. The presence of the good bacteria eliminates the bad bacteria, thereby giving us good health. Probiotics are live microorganisms that can be added into our food to help us be able to maintain a healthy balance, thereby promoting good health and supporting our immune system. Brookside Plus Probiotic Yogurt provides you the goodness of good bacteria for a healthy gut and a good immune system. And you can use it in any form. Add it to your smoothies, drink it off the glass, and you will be able to enhance that healthy digestive system. What do you know about bacteria? We have both good bacteria and bad bacteria in our bodies. The presence of the good bacteria eliminates the bad bacteria, thereby giving us good health. Probiotics are live microorganisms that can be added into our food to help us be able to maintain a healthy balance, thereby promoting good health and supporting our immune system. Brookside Plus probiotic yogurt provides you the goodness of good bacteria for a healthy gut and a good immune system. And you can use it in any form. Add it to your smoothies, drink it off the glass, and you will be able to enhance that healthy digestive system.
Thank you, DJ. Thank you, DJ. Let's pause. The lady who is doing the Citizen TV footage, Susan, just raise up your hands. Susan, raise up your hands. When you watch Citizen TV, you know Susan is the one who did it. Thank you very much, Susan. To introduce you because of a reason you understand very well yourself. I would like now to request our general managers to get to the line. General managers. General managers. And all our partners, Petra, Kenya Dairy Board, all of us, all the hospitals, KNH, rep of Daktari Kamuri himself, and up our line. Minister of Health, Aga Khan, Mata, Getful Gadgets, Nairobi Hospital. Nairobi Hospital is also not just Nairobi Hospital. I know it is the Nairobi Hospital. Yes, so the Nairobi Hospital. Wacha tuende pale pia. KMTC. Neema Uhai Neema Hospital. Sorry. That's how they are supposed to be, actually. Yeah. Kenyatta University Referral Hospital itself. Very good. Mama Lucy Kibaki. Can we also have Benson? Benson also on the line. Benson, enda kwa line. Clinician, we also have our own medical person here. Let us get to the line. Our systems and compliance, our brand manager, enda kwa line. Java, the guys who utilize our products, Java. So we will start. The first lunchtime transmission is being done by, we've chosen Kameme TV, and it's going to be done by Rahab Mumbi. So Rahab, can you come on set?